Welcome back. When we went to break, we had a break in transmission with our senior reporter Mzwandile Mbeje, who is based at the Parktown venue of the State Capture Commission. Mzwai, welcome back once again. I was saying that as a result of the revelations yesterday about journalists and communications specialists being paid out by Bosasa, Stephen Lofa and Pinky Khwabane have come out to say they're very aggrieved by what they term as inaccurate statements by Mr. Agrizzi. How can this be taken forward?
Oh, well, a very good morning to you, Desiree, and the viewers. It's very interesting that that kind of development happened. Particularly, we saw some of the tweets, I think from Pinky Khwabane, basically saying she was going to be on one of our platforms this morning to try and state her case. But then we learned later that she was advised by the legal team of hers that she does not need to do that. But the opportunity, Desiree, for them is to come to this very platform where these accusations were made to state their case. Remember when the judge started with Agrizzi, made it clear that whoever will be implicated must have a fair opportunity to state their case. But what they will have to do, Desiree, they will have to make an application to the chairperson of the commission and put their own version so that that version as well could be interrogated if the commission so feels it needs to do. And then they can then cross-examine Agrizzi. So they basically have a recourse in terms of writing to this commission and seeking to state their case. So all is not lost for them if they feel strongly about what Agrizzi say and they feel whatever he said was wrong.
In fact, Stephen Lofa already is putting out a statement saying that it was he who fired the facilities management company, saying that they were asking him to do things that were crossing the ethics line. But what can we expect today?
Well, today, Desiree, we're hoping, maybe not this time against hope, that the testimony of Mr. Agrizzi will finally conclude. Remember, he's been on the witness stand. Today will be day 9. So we're hoping that he will be able to conclude his evidence today. And then that's what the legal team and the judge were intimating yesterday when they stopped the proceedings for the day. But what we expect to hear from Mr. Agrizzi, having heard all that he has said about the corruption that has been taking place at Bosasa, the names that have been mentioned. I mean, yesterday you heard the name of Dudumieni and, of course, the name of former President Jacob Zuma. But what we expect to hear today is the relationship between Mr. Agrizzi and Gavin Watson. Remember that in August, Agrizzi left Bosasa because he says he felt he couldn't take it anymore given the kind of shenanigans that were happening at the company. But they somehow persuaded him to go back and then giving him certain guarantees. But, well, a few months later, he still left. So what we are going to hear today is what really happened between him and Gavin Watson when he had returned to Bosasa. I mean, part of the agreement, he says he had been promised shareholding in the company, and then he had been promised that the manner in which they were doing business, which is the corrupt practices, paying people, and then engaging in all sorts of illegalities, so was going to be stopped. So we expect him really to say more about what is it that happened when he went back, because there was something that was very interesting at Desiree. He says as part of the agreement of getting him back was to say no bribes will be paid, no corruption will be engaged into. But somehow in December, when he was back there, he says he got 265,000 from Mr. Gavin Watson that needed to be paid to an individual. So who the individual, he is not able to remember at this stage. So then it does then raise a number of questions insofar as their relations were concerned. I mean, you get someone back to the company with certain guarantees, but a few months later, you do exactly what you've been doing all those 19 years. So I think he will give us a clearer picture, Desiree, what happened, what led to him spilling the beans, because all of them knew that if one of them goes down, the rest will go down together.
The final one, Mzwai, Angelo Agrizzi's evidence, as revealing as it has been, was also the first witness who was bringing forth evidence that was not Gupta related. How will this affect the commission going forward in terms of the witnesses that will come up after him?
You know, it said something that many South Africans may not have been aware of. When this commission was set up, its mandate was to investigate whether there were individuals or entities that were involved in really influencing the state capture, basically influencing the executive, influencing the runnings of government. And then at the time, many people thought the Guptas were the main culprits. And then came Agrizzi, who came from Bosasa. And I can tell you that as we sit here and converse among some of the journalists as well, the question is, no one expected Bosasa to come here. So what if next week some other company that may have really been engaged in some other corrupt activity decides also to draw the courage to say, well, because the country is trying to rid itself of this phenomenon of the state capture, we also want to come clean because we want to do the business the right way. So what we expect to happen really is that after Agrizzi, there will be a number of other people who will be called in. And there's also a possibility of those who were implicated, and then they may want to state their case, and we would possibly hear those applications. And I know that, Desiree, today there is an application that will be heard. We are not sure what is it about, but it's possibly about some of the implicated individuals. And remember, there is still a number of questions that still need to be answered from the previous testimonies relating to the Gupta activities. So it looks to be a very tense and intense process, this one, Desiree. But as I'm saying, so we will hear today when the commission concludes what's next. Are there going to be people who will come forward again, or who are those who are applying and what are they applying for? Are there other companies really who also wish to come to this forum like Bosasa did? I mean, no one expected them, but they did. So there's a lot of questions really that it's going through here. So what is it that will happen next?
Setting the scene there for us, Mzwandile Mbeje is at the Commission of Inquiry into State Capture that's taking place in Parktown.